Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday morning. So today I'd like to discuss the scam that I find to be the gym LA Fitness. And to be clear, I'm not singling out LA Fitness explicitly because to my knowledge many gyms take part in this scam at this point in time. And the scam goes as follows. If you wish to sign up for the gym, you could sign up in person. You could sign up online. They make the sign up very, very easy. However, if you wish to cancel, they make it as close to impossible as they can. For instance, if you wish to cancel online, it will actually demand that you print out a letter in first-class mail to them. Some garbage gyms, like Best Fitness in Nashua, New Hampshire, run by, I think, ABC Fitness, requires that you certify mail them a letter. Not just mail, certify mail them a letter. And further, these gyms have contracts that last for a year that auto-renew. So if you don't cancel the contract, it will auto-renew. However, if you don't do it like a month before, it'll still auto-renew. So essentially, you're stuck in this situation where if you don't cancel and send your letter at the perfectly right time, and your first-class mail gets lost for any reason, you will still have a gym membership that they will still bill you for. Now, I have a confession to make. In the video that I did about privacy.com and virtual credit cards, where I was talking about virtual credit cards and why I use them for these types of scamming gyms, I was not fully honest with you. For dramatic effect, I crumbled up the letter that I'm supposed to send LA Fitness and I threw it in the trash. But when that video ended, I immediately printed another one and mailed it out because I'll be honest with you, I just don't want to deal with fighting my credit bureau and all that other stuff. I just wasn't in the mood that day. I figured, fine, I'll do it anyway. So imagine how I feel when I send that letter that I am required to send for cancellation and I get a text message and an attempted charge on my card that didn't work because I'm using a virtual credit card. They say, please call in. So I call in and I just say, I'm kind of curious, why are you guys trying to charge my credit card again for my gym membership when I canceled? And they say, we don't see here that you canceled. And I said, well, okay, A, I canceled on your website, and B, your website has such a messed up system that you make on purpose to make it hard to cancel. You forced me to mail you a letter, which I mailed you, and I have delivery confirmation because I did not use a stamp on that shit. I first class mailed it with delivery confirmation. So I have tracking that you received it. Why are you not marking me as canceled? Say, well, we haven't marked you as canceled. If you want to fix it, you can take that letter that you printed and you can bring it to your local gym. At which point I said, the closest LA Fitness to me since I have moved is approximately 30 miles away from me. I'm not driving 30 miles out of the way to cancel a gym membership that I'm able to sign up for online. I know why you're doing this, and you know why you're doing this, and I'm not standing for this. I canceled it because she started to say out loud, like, oh, if you don't want to cancel, I said, no. I canceled. Don't use that weaselly ass language with me. They said, well, if you don't want to cancel, I canceled. You're refusing to accept the cancellation because you want to continue billing me, which is really an underhanded, crappy way to do business. Anyway, she gives me the number of somebody else I can call who does. So I call this other person. And they pretty much tell me the same thing. I tell them my story. I first class mailed this in. I know that you got it because I can see the delivery confirmation over here. At which point he says, this hasn't been received. You can go to your local gym. And I'll be honest with you, at this point, I just exploded. When you listen to me talking to New York State Department of Taxation and Finance, it's actually easier for me to be calm because they're not malicious, they're incompetent. Like when you hear me on the phone with those people from New York State Department of Taxation and Finance or the court system or anything else, you know that you almost, I don't want to say it out loud, but you're not talking with somebody that's on the same level as you. You're not talking with somebody that's firing on all cylinders. It would almost be, cruel to actually be mean to them. But here, it's different. You're clearly talking to people that have their brains and their wits about them. They're not screwing you because of incompetence. They're screwing you, in my opinion, willingly. They know what they're doing. It is malicious. The entire system was designed from start to finish to make it more difficult for people to cancel so you can continue to bill people for services they're not using on contracts that would have expired if consumer protection law in the United States was not garbage. So I just exploded on it. I said, listen, I am not traveling 30 miles out of my way to hand a piece of paper to somebody to cancel a membership I signed up for online. I signed up for this membership online. I should be able to cancel online, but you don't want to let me cancel online. You want me to mail you something. So I mailed it to you with tracking, and I can give you the tracking to prove that you received it. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, we didn't receive it, and you have to do it our way, so you have to visit. You're going to pretend you didn't get the mail so that you can screw with me and keep me from canceling my membership so you can keep billing me. And this is not a game you want to play. I went full Karen. Like, I honestly feel a little bad about this. You can Google my name. I have gotten 3 laws passed in the last 18 months, and if you want me to pivot from doing what I'm doing with professional lobbying to coming up with a national right to fucking cancel law, I will do it just to fuck with you people for fucking with me. Like, I was exploding mad. I actually apologized at the end of the call. I told him, listen, I completely understand that you are not the person who came up with this bullshit policy. I'm sorry. I know you just want to make a living. This stuff makes me mad because I know I'm getting scammed. And the thing that made me sad about this entire thing is that the person that I was talking to, you could tell because there was literally no resistance after this. It's like, okay, I'm going to mark it as canceled. I'm sorry. I'm getting rid of your balance. It was the tone of voice that he had that led me to believe that he has this conversation 30 times a day. And he's used to being berated because he's forced to read from their policy, and he essentially just gets used as a piñata. And what I feel really bad about is that person that got used as a piñata, it's not like he didn't come up with the policy. So LA Fitness, by virtue of being a scamming gym, by virtue of having a rapist mentality, by virtue of not allowing people to cancel things that they signed up for on the internet, using the same webpage that they went to on the fucking internet to cancel it, are putting their employees in this situation where they are going to get screamed at by tons of people every single day that get surprise charges on their credit card. Now again, I understand how people with a rapist mentality function because I did business in New York City for a long period of time with a lot of underhanded, scummy, crappy people and businesses. I'm used to how it is when somebody feels entitled to your money, entitled to your time, entitled to your labor. And I knew that LA Fitness was that type of business. So I had put a virtual credit card. So when I saw that they tried to charge the virtual credit card, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't taken aback by it. I knew that they were going to do that because they have a rapist mentality. They feel entitled to your money. They feel entitled to your subscription. They feel entitled to make it as difficult to cancel as humanly possible because the people that run that business are human fucking scum. And it didn't work. Now, I know what is going to happen at that point. They're going to say, well, you're not going to pay the bill. They're going to claim that you never canceled. It's going to go back and forth with credit bureaus. That's why I just cut in and I just said, listen, I know what you're going to say. I know why you do this. You're not going to win this game. You're not, I feel, I've never done that in my life. I have not been that aggravated in a really long time. I can't believe that I actually Karen's that hard. I said something along the lines of, you could Google my name. I've gotten 3 laws passed in the last year. And if you want me to pivot to coming up with a national right to fucking cancel just so that you can't do this to people anymore, I will. But I think that that's something that we need in this country, a right to cancel. If you sign up for a service, you should be able to unsubscribe from that service or end it the same way that you signed up. Because you bet your fucking ass if they were forced to do that this would go away. Every gym in the country would go bankrupt if they were forcing customers to sign up for their services via certified mail letter. That would never work. If you force people to certify mail you something to sign up, they need to make it as easy as possible to sign up because they're competing with all these other gyms. They know what they're doing, but then what they do is they make it as hard to cancel as humanly possible because they're scumbags. And again, when you say no, this is a class of business person that Eli the computer guy talks a lot about on his channel, and he typically is referring to the Silicon Valley startup types, not the entrepreneur types, the startup types that have a rapist mentality, that cannot accept the word no. They believe that they have a right to your money, to your time, to your data, and if you say no, well, they'll show you. And it's something that I think we need to start pushing back against. And I think the way we start pushing back against it is we let our local representatives know that this is something that's important to us. And again, I think that this is the type of legislation that virtually everybody in the United States of America, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Rhino, MAGA, progressive Bernie Sanders type, neoliberal Biden voter, literally pretty much everybody would vote for and be in favor of in a landslide. And it's very difficult for me to figure out how this would actually negatively affect either the economy or consumers. Like, what is the backlash? How would it increase costs in any way, shape, or form? Giving people the ability to cancel through the same means that they signed up, it just seems like the most simplistic, basic thing that should be enshrined in federal law. And it's one of those things that if the FTC had balls, if their rulemaking actually mattered worth a shit, we would probably have in the country by now. And the reason that we don't have it is because our lawmakers and regulators, in my opinion, are completely cucked and just don't bother. And it's sad. But yeah, like, the thing that I felt the most bad for is while I was speaking to that gentleman, you could just tell from the tone of his voice and how quickly he rolled over before I even finished my sentence that he has this conversation. I've been there with customer service. You know, he has this conversation like 10 to 20 times a day. And you could tell that it destroys him inside. You could tell that as he's reading this to me, the first person I spoke to was having a good old time with it. You could tell she was just giggly on the phone about like, well, if you don't want to cancel, then I guess we can accept that you don't want to cancel. Bitch, I didn't say that I didn't want to cancel. I said that I already canceled and you didn't accept it because you people are scum. But you could tell with the second guy, like the person that they actually escalated to, the person that they transfer you to, that dude has this conversation like 20 times a day, and he doesn't want to have that conversation 20 times a day. He hates having that conversation 20 times a day. He has that conversation 20 times a day because he needs to pay his rent and his food bill and his light bill, and that is probably the only job available to him at this point in time, and he is just waiting for the day that he has something else that he can do to make money. But the fact that that business puts people in that place actually pisses me off even more than the actual policy. The policy is scamming. It's very obvious scamming, and you can tell what they're doing and why they're doing what they're doing. But the fact that they are pitting a customer against a low-level employee that probably gets close to minimum wage to answer the phone is just disgusting. And they know that if they were the ones that had to answer the phone, if the people that came up with that bullshit policy were the ones that had to look customers that work out on a regular basis in the face and tell them that they were doing that policy would go away immediately. The only reason that policy exists is because they have the ability to have other people enforce that policy to customers so that they don't have to do it themselves. They don't have the balls, they don't have the courage, they don't have the fortitude to actually enforce that policy on customers themselves. They have to send somebody out that makes minimum wage to do it. That is absolutely fucking miserable. And that, in my opinion, is why LA Fitness is a garbage gym and a garbage institution. And one of the things that you should do before you sign up for any gym is figure out if they have a policy like that. If they require that you mail them to cancel your membership, and they have some sort of auto-renewing contract that continuously auto-renews, it is incredibly important that you walk out, that you stop signing up for the gym, and that you let them know why you're not signing up for the gym. Let them know that this policy is the reason. I now use a gym that is closer to me. It is a local mom and pop old gym that's been there for about 45 years. It's not owned by a big company. And I'll be honest with you, I pay a little bit more for that than I pay for LA Fitness. But here's the thing. I'm willing to pay more money per month to give money to a business that does not fuck me in the ass when I try to cancel. That is not run by people that have a rapist's mentality. And it's worth it to me to do that. Admittedly, using LA Fitness as a gym is probably one of the stupidest things I've done in my life. Not a mistake I'll make again. But the reason I did is because they were literally right next to my house. Like, right next to my house. And one of the things with the gym is, if the gym is far away, I can bullshit myself and I can come up with excuses as to why it's okay if I don't go when I have a busy day, or there's a lot of work, or I'm tired. But if the gym is literally right next to my house and I don't go, then I have no excuses. So I've always tried to find gyms, not necessarily even based on the quality of the gym, but proximity to work or home. Like, if the gym is right across the street from my work and I don't go, well, I'm just a piece of crap. Whereas if it's 20 miles away, it's like, well, you know, you were busy that day, you have an excuse. But if you skip the gym when it's literally right next to your house, there's no excuse. So it really helps me get rid of the excuses that I would come up with to not go to the gym, and it helps me not miss a day. But it's not worth it to do business with scumbags. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think that a national right to cancel law would be a good thing? Or do you think that would be overregulation or a waste? Do Do you think it would be good consumer protection regulation, or do you think it's unneeded? And if you do think it would be good consumer protection regulation, why do you think we don't have it in the United States yet as a federal law? Why do you think that the only place that we have it is in the state of California? Again, listen, I'm not going to say California does everything right, but it's a lot easier to cancel these memberships if you say that you're in the state of California. You know, they get some things right. Anyway, that's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. See you all in the next video. Bye now.